Hello and welcome back to My Own Worst Enemy. As promised, we are about to start the first turn in Napoleon's last battles, the Battle of Ligny. It's the one of the quads in the in that set, Battle of Waterloo, and we're gonna give it a try here. I've got I kind of I kind of wish I had done an unboxing on this. Before we jump in, I'll make a few comments, I suppose. Maybe I will in the future when I do one of these. Maybe I'll do a, if not an unboxing, at least a components overview. Because as I was, and I've never played this game, and this is actually kind of a fairly new acquisition for me, this set. And it was actually a set that I could tell that it may be hard to tell on. Actually, I think these all may be the same counters, but you could tell that this set. This SPI edition was salvaged. There were parts lost and parts replaced, it looked like. I don't think I have all the leaders. I think there's a couple missing, but everything else was there, and I could certainly play the entire campaign if I'd wanted to. But there were some differences in, I don't see any here, but there was some of the counters were kind of slightly colored differently, and you could tell there was a difference. And the rule book, and actually... where is my rule book? I showed you this last time. I had printed out the standard rules on paper because the original rule book, while it's certainly usable, it's kind of grimy. It's well used, which is actually, you want to see that. You realize somebody actually got a lot of enjoyment out of playing this particular set. But there's even here you can see there's on the combat results table you can see. I'm guessing that's coffee stains and. I didn't put those there. Somebody else did, but yeah, somebody must have enjoyed playing this a lot, and it looks like it was a well-used set. But in setting this up and looking at it, there's a couple of things I don't like about the game and the setup itself. And one of the things is I'll pick up. Let's just grab a piece here. You pick this piece up, and so on the map, and I don't know if you can see this or not. Your setup is actually on the map. So every hex will have, not every hex, but hexes where units will go will have that hex's information in it. And this is what I need to help me see that and set this thing up. I was kind of hoping that there would have been and I looked on Board Game Geek. I was hoping that there would have been someone that made a chart that would have... which counter goes with which hex instead of me having to hunt and pick. And it's not just that tiny print. I mean, that's incredibly tiny, but on the counters, it's incredibly, can you even see that? It's incredibly tiny print on those things. Really hard for me to see. So that's why I had to get the magnifying glass to help. But I don't like that. I really wish there had been a setup in the book that actually had these easy to read hex numbers and the easier to read unit information in them. But it didn't. Didn't like that. Another thing I don't really care for is you have this nice terrain key, but it doesn't do much good because the actual terrain effects chart is in the rules, and it tells you, the terrain and then your movement restrictions and your effect on combat. And the little terrain key, it shows you, the terrain. There's forest. That's great, but they really should have put some of the same information on this chart. I think. I don't think it'd been that hard to do. I think you could have got this information on the chart. Maybe one of the other quad maps has this information on it. I don't know. I haven't really looked at those maps in any great detail. Can't remember, but yeah, I wish that information were here. As it is, I'm going to have this terrain effects chart handy and standing by. And another thing, I don't know, I'm not going to get too nitpicky here on these rules. I mean, like I said, this is a 1976 game, 4 game. I think it's 6. And as I mentioned in the last introductory video, I'm going to use combined arms in the optional rules. I'm not going to use Imperial Guard. And then this is an interesting thing too. Don't really know why this is, but if you look at this crest hex, these are crest hex sides they're called. And if you look at the terrain effects chart for a crest hex side, no additional movement points to enter across those things, no effect on combat. Well, no effect on combat is not that's kind of, and see, this is kind of something that should have been spelled out here. There is an effect on combat, and the effect is line of sight. I mean, and they tell you this in the rules. These crests do affect line of sight. So if you're artillery, you've got to watch for that. So to say no effect on combat, no, I think that's wrong. Now there could be errata to this game. I haven't really looked for that yet. I'm still stuck back in '76 with the classic edition here. So perhaps perhaps that was corrected. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to go into any great detail. As far as components go overall, it is a '70s game, and I think for a '70s game, it's pretty good. Graphic wise, I like the map. Well, except for, like I said, the little putting the setup on the map. I don't like that, but I do like the overall look of the map. It's not if you watched my McPherson's Ridge video, which I'm going to get back to, by the way. I'm going to get to turn 3, I swear. But if you look at I show the original map from McPherson's Ridge in that video, and it's hideous. This map is actually not bad at all. This is pretty good. So I do like the map. The counters are fine, except for the print is a little small. It's small print, and one cool thing about the counters, let's see if I can get the... you can see that the counter does have like the name of I'm assuming that's the leader of that unit, the name printed on the side. So that's kind of cool. I like to see little details like that. I'm not going to try to pronounce any of those names because I do not speak French, and I would probably just ruin the pronunciations of any of this stuff. So I'll try not to pronounce those names. Or well, if I do, you'll just have to bear with whatever I say. So let's see, anything else I want to point out here? I do want to point out that this is the Battle of Ligny. We will go back to the rule book for a second, and I will show you the victory conditions here. So the victory conditions will be the French player wins if the Prussian demoralization level is reached and French losses are lower than 35 strength points. So... okay, so up here it says Prussian demoralization. So this is the number of strength points that the Prussians will have to lose for the French to claim victory if the French are if their losses are lower than the 35 strength points. So for the French to win, they've got to sock it to the Prussians, and for the Prussians to win, they simply have to prevent the French from doing that within the time limit that I mentioned last time. The game will start at 2 o'clock and run up to 9 o'clock. So that's the victory conditions. What else? So to track the victory conditions, I've got these fancy little D100s. I got it. We'll use the black dice for the Prussians and the blue dice for the French. Why not? Of course, you would use black for the Prussians and blue for the French. It's got to be in this rule book here somewhere. This is just the single battle. Like I said, I'm not using campaign rules. There's a whole another rule book in addition to this one that comes with the game that is for the campaign when you have all 4 of the maps lined up. And there's leaders, and there's activations and supply, and there's some more cavalry rules, and none of that's going to apply here. It's going to be just simply a battle without all those restrictions and extra rules. And the way this works, this is a zone of control game. Zone of control here is extremely important. So if you have a unit move into another unit's zone of control, he's basically stuck there. Unless he can attack in advance or if he retreats through combat. So zones of controls here are sticky. So you have to really, really think about what you want to do. Do you really want to make that attack? Because if you do, you're going to be committed to it. So that's something to know. And what else? Don't think there's much else. I think we can pretty much go ahead and get started here. I will point out that since we're not using the campaign rules, that Napoleon would be here near Flores, and Blucher, I think I saw Blucher he would have been, yeah, here he is. He would have been here in this town, this, what is this called? A town. See, that is handy for that. So he would be in that town, but they're not in the game. Druel would be here. So it's got little parentheses where, again, if you're playing the campaign, that's your setup locations for those leaders. But we're not, so we'll just take note that that's where they are, and they're giving orders, and the battle will get underway. I'm going to keep this rule book handy because I'm probably going to have to refer to it quite a bit. I don't think too much is going to happen this first turn. So some of what I'm planning on doing here, I think the French, it's like I said, it starts at 2 o'clock, time is running out, and I think the French have to hit the Prussians, and they have to hit them hard and quick. So pretty much all these forces I'm going to have, I think I'm just going to have them kind of move up in this way, and what few forces we have here kind of maybe do the same sweeping motion and kind of push these Prussians back. Got to be careful though, because these town hexes, and I think some of these start in the town hexes, you know, see that guy's in a town, that doubles your defensive value. So his defense value is 4 on his counter there. That's the second number that we're looking at. The first number is the strength points. So that 4, because he's in that town, becomes an 8. So got to watch out for that. And there's 2 units here. So they're in a town. So that's a 4 and a 4. That's 8. So that'll be 16 because they're in that town. So again, it goes back to what I was saying. So that's their defense is 16. Really want to you really want to plan your move next to that unit if you intend to attack. You better have enough strength points to attack that unit defending at 16, which maybe we do. I don't know, but we'll find out. So, and the way combat works, it is just simply that. It is, as it says here, attacker strength to defender strength. It's a ratio. You're round in the favor of the defender. You roll 1d6 on this combat results table, and it gives you your result, which is your defender will retreat, your attacker will retreat, they'll be eliminated, or there's an exchange. And an exchange is where, say, we defeated a Prussian unit at 4 strength points, and we had 8. We would have to eliminate the 4 strength points that the Prussian had. We would have to eliminate that from our side. So that's what the exchange means. Pretty basic stuff. Like the rules for this are not that difficult. So all that said, enough time wasted. Let's go ahead and start. And I'm going to start with the French because the French, make sure I'm, I think the French go first. I'm pretty sure they do, but we'll double check. Here's a sequence of play. Game turn is divided into French player turn and a Prussian Anglo-Allied player turn. So yes, the French will go first. And when they go, and this is true for the Prussians as well, the French will all the units will move first, then there'll be combat resolution. So it's not move, combat, move, combat, move, combat. Movement first, then combat. And then it will switch over to the Prussians and they will move and do combat. So let's get started, and I am going to just start over here, and like I said, we're going to kind of work our way into this Prussian mass. So we have a cavalry unit up here, and I'm going to get this rule book back out one more time because it does have the terrain effects chart, which I can reference easily, I hope. Maybe I can slide it over here without destroying the table. Okay, so I'm looking at the cost to move into a town as 1 movement point. So, So the movement points are, I think I told you wrong. I think I said the second number on the counter was defense, but it's not. That's your movement allowance. Yeah, so when I said this unit had he does have a defensive strength of 4, but this other second number, it's his movement factor. The first number is simply strength points, and that's what you used to do it. So the cavalry unit has 7 movement points. So to move into that town, it would be 1 movement point. I think that's right. 1 move. No, that's No, it is one. Okay, one movement point. So, let's see. This guy is not in a town. To cross a hex side, to cross these are all streams, by the way. These are not. There are no rivers. These are all little streams. It's 2 movement points to cross a. Oh, there's a bridge. So it'll only be 1 movement point there, but it would be 2. An additional 2 to move across that stream from here to here, let's say. So I've got to watch for that. Okay, so I am going to move this cavalry unit, so that certainly he can move him there. They would take him down to 6. Now, like I said, this is where, you know, you've got to think, if I move here or here, then this cavalry unit is stuck and will have to fight these units. And I don't think I want him doing that yet, because I don't think that's a good idea. He only has 2 strength points, so I'm going to leave him there. And I'll tell you what else I'm going to do. And if you've watched any of my past videos, you know I like to do this. So this unit has... Oops, I'm shaking the table. This unit has moved. I'm going to mark it with a... just a little yellow disc there. It looks... makes the counter look green on the screen there. I can see that. But it's a yellow disc. Tells me I have moved that unit. So I will know not to move him again. And this infantry has a movement factor of 4. It costs nothing to cross this crest, so he can go 1, 2, 3. So actually, he can. I'm gonna actually put him under this, or on top of this cavalry unit. So let's move him to here, and they are a slippery little counter. So let's put that back on. So both of those have moved. And, you know, a side note on this game, I think it was in this rule book where I was reading, it's like, and this I can tell you how competitive these games could be, especially back in the 70s. They say, you know, once you move your unit and lift your hand off, that's it. No going back. No, I'm not going to be that strict on myself here, but I thought that was funny. And this guy can move 4, so it would be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of reinforce that way. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. And now he has moved. I don't know if I'm going to use these markers the whole game. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's going to be too much or not. And we have here. Now see, this is what I was talking about. I'm really tempted to go after one of these guys. Oh, we have artillery here. We have cavalry, we get to use that combined. We don't. So we had cavalry, we could have used the combined arms to shift us, I think, a column on this table. I think that's how it works. I'll verify when we get there. As it is, we have 2 units up here. We have a strength 5 and a strength 3. Now this one, you'll note, has a white band. This is per scenario instructions. These 2 units started flipped. So they started, what's the word I'm looking for? They started damaged, I guess, for lack of a better term. So that's 8, and they are in a town. So like I said, that's doubled. So it's 16. These guys have 10. So, okay, so I'm going to move. These are infantry, so their movement factor is 4, so they can certainly move up to here. So I'm going to do that. This infantry I'm going to have move up as well. So, and this artillery, now this artillery piece can actually hit from back here. Would be a separate attack, and he would not, any retreat or eliminate result applied to him would not be applied to him, because he's not within 1 hex from this unit. I could move him up. He would still add his value to this, but then whatever result we get would apply to him. You know, I'm going to move him up anyway. I'm just going to move him up. We're going to be aggressive here. So, and then also what I'm going to do is for units that have moved and can attack, it'll be a little different. We're going to put, we'll put these red, oops, I'm causing a mess. We'll put these red tokens out. All right, so that will show that we have an attack to resolve. I'm making, this is not working out as easily as I hoped it would. Like I said, you cannot beat the ease of Tabletop Simulator, but there's something about moving these physical counters on the board. It's like reading a book versus reading Kindle, I guess. So there's an attack to resolve there. I'm going to bring this guy up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to move. There are 2 units here, so I can't go past. There's a stacking limit. Let me verify. I've been reading a lot of a lot of rule books lately, and I'm pretty sure that it is to. Let me look. Let's all look together here. Stacking friendly units. A maximum of 2. So yeah, okay. I have been reading a lot of rule books lately, so there's a lot of rules floating around in my head right now. So he can move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm thinking, you know, it's funny with these yellow discs, clear, transparent discs. I don't know if it's coming out on the video as much, but for me, these may have wanted to pick a better color because they look exactly like the Prussian counters in person. I'm looking on the video and it looks like they don't look quite the same what you're seeing, but for me, they look almost identical. But I know the difference. So, and then I'm going to move, let's see, 1, 2, 3. And this guy is 7. He could move 1, 2, 3, 4. And then to enter that forest, I knocked the map around here, didn't I? So let's get that back. I'll pull this down a little bit because I think most of what we're trying to see is up north there. So to enter that forest, cavalry strength halved when attacking into or defending in. So I don't think we want that cavalry in that forest if his defense strength is halved. What I was looking at, though, is there's an opportunity, I think, to combine arms against this unit, or even these units up here. Now, they do have, is that 1 artillery unit or 2? Well, there's 1, 2 there. Is it, what's under here? It's infantry. So there's 2 artillery pieces there. So, anyway, let's go back this way. I'll work my way across so that I don't confuse myself. I guess I wasn't, though, because I was looking at, do I want to move this guy? And I think I want to keep moving these guys up. Like I said, I think I kind of want to push up and around and kind of in from this way. So let's have this guy go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to have him for now. He's going to come up here. And we will mark him as moved. Okay. And then I'm going to just go 1, 2, 3. So he's just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's cheat a little bit. Let's put this one across both so we know both of those have moved. That might be a little bit easier, actually. You know, I should probably do that. It'll make housekeeping between turns easier. So let's put that on there. Those 2. And then I'm going to just go 1, 2, 3. So he's just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to have him for now. He's going to come up here. And then one, let's see. Did I say what it was for infantry if they go into forest? Forest hex. Infantry, it's 2. So, and like I said, wish that were sitting right there. That would be so much easier. So 2, he can go, and then the stream too. So that's 2 to cross that. So it would be, he couldn't get in there. He could go 1, but then he wouldn't have enough to go into the forest and cross the stream. So he could go 1, 2, 3. I'm still looking up here too. I don't want to move everybody this way. It's all going to depend on what goes on here. 1, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's just going to stop there. And 1, 2, and that was a clear hex. No, that was, he can't get there. He cannot get in there. So that's forest. 1, 2, 3. He could come up here. 1, 2, 3. And now, like I said, we can share those two. Show that they both moved. And then here's infantry. Now this is the guard. You can see there's a little GD on, and that's maybe that's why they're so powerful, because like their strengths are all pretty high here. So this is the guard. Not going to use the guard rule, but they're optional rules, but I am using them in the sense that they are very strong units, very strong infantry units. So I think I'm just going to keep kind of moving up. As like I said, until we know what happens in here, I'm not sure which way I want to send all of these guys. So he could go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to send him that way. I'm going to go 1, 2, crossing this 3, 4. So wait a minute, can he do that? Is that a legal move? This terrain chart's going to drive me crazy because, like I said, it needs to be over here so I can look at it. My question is, does it count? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Is it 5 to get there because it's 1 to enter the clear hex? It says movement points, and I'll show you the rule. Movement points to enter or cross. So to enter that clear hex, he would have to have 5 movement points, which he doesn't. So he can't do that. He cannot cross the stream into this hex. 1, 2. I could come this way. And I think that's what we'll do, because that's empty. That's clear hex. So he can go 1, 2, 3. He can certainly get up there. So let's do that. We're going to move him into here. He can get that far. Yeah, my goal is to get these troops as far forward as fast as possible. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to move him up to here, and see, I'm already confusing myself. So this actually should be on both of those. And we show him as moved. And this is infantry 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to move him up here. And like I said, I don't know if using these clear tokens for movement is the way to go. Am I going to be working more than not trying to show this movement? I don't know. And now we have cavalry. This guy can move. Oh, that's not cavalry, that's artillery. The heck am I saying? Because there is, I say cavalry, there's a horse artillery, so got to be careful of that. So to move into a town, we said was 1. I'll eventually burn this into my brain. So yeah, that's 1. So it's just 1 for that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as I look at it, I don't think I moved him yet. But this guy, I'm going to put a red because he can fire. He can, he is within range. So I believe he can fire No, he can't. And you know why he can't? Because there's forest in his way. So let's go back to a yellow. Because he can't fire through trees. He does not yet have that technology. Maybe someday. Okay, so here, another one of those strong guard units. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to move him up to here. Grab another yellow. And what do we have here? Lots of artillery. So we have a cavalry, horse artillery, and regular artillery. Now, this guy can move 4, but if I move along this road, this is half movement points. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get all the way up to here, should I choose. But I think what I'm going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can actually get here by using that road. So we're going to do that. We're going to move. He's going to come up here. And this is exactly why I'm using these little discs, because he's moved. So we'll put that there. He's moved, but these guys haven't. So, you know, if I went over to do something else and came back and hadn't marked him, I'd be like, well, did he move? First turn, it's not that big a deal because you can tell where he came from. Because, like I said, these starting locations are actually printed on the map. Okay, so these guys do not start in a road, but now he could go, it would be 1 to get here, and then he can start the half movement point. So he's got 6. He could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be the. Now see, there's a regular cavalry and there's a artillery, horse artillery here. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So both of these guys, I'm going to move up to 1125. So 1120. Oops, he's not flipped. So he goes to 1125, and this guy is going to come in there with them. And again, I'm going to mark that as moved. And again, this is another good, glad I'm using this now because, like I said, if I go to do something else and come back, I know these moved. Let's see. So that's going to leave. We got another cavalry. What to do. I think I'm going to have him come up this way. I'm looking for that combined arms advantage eventually. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So don't think there's a unit under here yet. I think it's just him. So we're going to bring this cavalry unit up to here and show that as moved. Okay, and here we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now stacking, I don't know. Can you move through the stack? I don't think it's going to matter there because I don't think you can. Anyway, but let's look to see. I think, yeah, there is no limit to the number of friendly units which may. Let me show you. I'll just show you where I'm looking at this. There is no limit to the number of friendly units which may pass through a single hex in one movement phase. So even though there's 2 units there, he could still move through these 2 to get to this one. But that is forest, so he can't do that. He doesn't have the movement points. But he could go 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Could also go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do that. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I will place a disc on top of him as moved. And he can go 6, so 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, he can go 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4.5. 5.5, so you can actually get all the way up there. And I'm going to hold that thought because I haven't decided quite yet what I'm going to do up here, and that's going to come into play. There's a bug on the map. Go away, you silly fly. What to do? 1, 2. Got a pretty good amount of forces coming this way, I think. This is my my in-depth Napoleonic strategy coming out in great detail. I have no idea what I'm doing strategic-wise here, tactical-wise, I should say. So it should be exciting. It should be fun. Should be an even match, if nothing else, right? This is solitaire play, and you're saying, well, what kind of solitaire rules are you using? Well, it's one fool versus another. Me versus me. Where do I want to take this guy? I think I kind of want to come across this bridge with this horse artillery. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 3.5. 4.5. 5.5. So this is going to be hard to show. Let's okay. Like I said, let's do this. Let's pause this for a second. He's moving, but I want to know where he's going to move. This unit has not moved. I don't think I'm going to move this artillery. Because he's not enforced. He can hit these units. Of course, they can fire back. If I bring this guy up to here, that would be good. Could also fire at this guy. Yeah, I'm going to leave him there, I think. And then this cavalry. So here we go. I can have, if I bring this cavalry up here with this artillery piece, I can set up for a combined arms attack again, but I would have to wait until next turn. I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, I may take a pop shot from this Prussian artillery. So I'm going to leave, let's see. What to do? I think I'm going to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, see, these units can also reach up here. So now we got a couple of wandering Prussian units over here, and we have a couple more wandering Prussian units over here we got to keep an eye on. And this is Ligny itself. I'd like to start chipping away at that if possible. So I can move him into here. And then this guy could go 1, 2, 3, 4. Because remember, if he were to try to go, I think I just lost my light. I don't know. I don't think it's going to affect too much, other than it makes it harder for me to see. Let me see if I can get a little more light in here. Yeah, that's a little more light for me to see. Not sure what happened there. But we press on. So what I was going to say is, you know, if I tried, basically I was going to move this guy here, but he could move here and then he would be stuck in that sticky zone of control. What I can do is I can move him into here, and then this guy can go 1, 2, 3, 4, or he could even come into the same hex. But I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to start. Yeah, I think what I want to do is I'm going to move this infantry up to here. I removed my hand. He has to stay there. So that's going to be an attack. So we're going to use the red discs to show there's an attack to resolve. And this infantry is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now he is stuck there. So we can do the same thing with this red disc, and we can just show that there's an attack there. Does that affect what I want to do with this? Horse artillery, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I still think I want to bring this. I think I still want to bring this guy up here. And we're just going to mark them as moved, even though I know the infantry unit below has not moved. I'm not going to move him. That leaves this infantry. He can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. He can get to here. He can get to here. And this cavalry unit could also, I could bring both of these up to here. Try to knock out this guy. I don't think I've moved this guy either. So what I could do maybe is move these 3. Maybe I want to move them. I'm sure that's a town there, right? Of course. Well, it's not a town. It looks like clear terrain. So I could move these 3 here. Is that right? Is that clear terrain? That is clear terrain. Huh. There's a lot of units here, though. And wow, whoa, what is this? Look at this artillery. That is a strength 9. That's just now dawning on me. That is a powerful, potent artillery battery sitting up there. Some of the best guns in the Prussian army apparently are sitting on that crest. And these are 2 infantry units. Huh. Well, so I could move up here, but I'll probably be pounded in the face. I'm going to get pounded either way, I got a feeling, by that. So, let's see. I kind of want to... Got to be careful here. I don't want to... Don't want to spread out too much. So that would be 9, 12. And again, like I said, I don't have to move this one up to get the attack. He can attack from back here. But I believe that's a separate attack. He would have to attack... he would have to bombard from back here on his own. So he wouldn't be combining with... I don't think. I'd have to go back and look at that. Maybe it is a combiner. Let's look. We have that kind of time. Trust me, we do. Where did that optional rule go? Combined arms. Combined attack against any single tech, cavalry and artillery unit. Bombarding or adjacent. So yeah, that would be combined arms. So he could... I could bring these 2 units to here. And then he could also join in the attack against this stack. That is tempting. Or I can hold back and, like I said, and wait to see what's going to happen over here. The lines are shifting already. I really don't want to get pounded by that artillery. That's strong. If I move the map again, we need to come back over a little bit. Let's move it over. It's getting hard to see here. All right. That doesn't happen in Tabletop Simulator. And then this guy, he can still come in. Gotta be careful here too, though. I don't like what's happening this way. Let's see. So if I just were to do a pretty strong attack over here, let's what? These guys can advance the next turn. This way or this way. That's a crest. I would really like to grab these town hexes because that double defense is just awesome. Of course, they're enjoying the benefits of that right now, so to get them out of there, it's going to be hard. Of course, it's not a chateau, and I don't think there are any chateaus. There's one over here. These are like little mini fortresses. They're really, really powerful hexes to be in. In being the key word, but I don't think there's any else in this area, so I don't think that's going to come into play. But these towns are nice little defensive structures to hide your army in. I kind of want to push them out of the town. What am I going to do? Let's move this guy. He's here. He can go 1, 2. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just, what was this value under here? 3 and 4, so there's 7. That would be 4, 7, 12, 13, 14. I don't know. So let's just do it. Let's move him here. And we'll move the cavalry unit with him. And that's going to be a red on these two. Okay, moving right along. And I'm going to double check myself here. I think these are just single units right now. So this guy can go 1, 2, 3. He can move into that zone of control. One, 2, 3, 4. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can't quite get there. What I should have done is probably move this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, because he could do that. And then he could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's do that instead. So he actually moved here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this guy is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to be the attack here. And what are we looking at over here? Infantry and infantry. So that's, and they are in a town, it looks like. Are they in a town? They're not in a town. So this might be an opportunity to, while they are not in a town, attack. Of course, I don't have a whole lot of strength points down there, do I? So you could go 1, 2, 3, and then with these other units, attack this stack. So let's bring this infantry unit into here. This cavalry unit will join. And this artillery piece, horse artillery will, will also join. Now I am going to put him in there. No, I can't put him in there. I am not going to put him in there. I'm thinking combined arms here again. He's going to go back here. And this cavalry unit will move up to here. I'll grab a handy dandy red disc to put here. And also, because that doesn't reach 3, 1 here. So there's an attack. And now this is clear. This is clear. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So both of these can get up to here and here. And again, I'm going to take that horse artillery right up to the line. It's all or nothing. All right. Looking at the board, I have moved all the French units I want to move. So, where there are red discs are attacks. So, and I keep knocking this map around. I'm going to have to do something about that next time, but not this time. So, looking at our attacks, there are some rules here. Basically, and let's start here. We are going to start right here. I'll just leave that there to show that we have an attack in progress here. And I believe that it's simply going to be all of these units attacking these two units. So you get the adjacent, no terrain. It's all open terrain for my guys over here. I say my guys. They're all my guys. The French guys. These guys are in the clear. So there's no defensive bonus for them. So yeah, I think it's simply we add up the attacker strength and the defender strength and see what we get. And I just want to double check on this this artillery piece right here. I don't think bombarding. I don't think it changes the attack any. But we'll see. Let's see. Bombarding. Artillery. Bombardment. So, it's an attack against an enemy unit which is not in its zone of control. Artillery units may only attack a single enemy occupied hex when bombarding. Well, that's true. We only have the one hex down here. May not attack non-adjacent. 2 hexes distance. Yeah, we know that. Range. Yeah, we know that. If two, I don't care about 2 artillery. We only have 1. So I don't think there's any reduction in strength points. So it looks to me like it's a... they get to use their full 2 on this attack. So... attackers, let's see, so that's 5. I can pull this one up without the other one. So that is what? So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I'll tell you what else. I'm going to get my calculator out. I don't think we need it for this one, but let's just see. So it's 11 divided by, what do they got? Oops. 11 divided by 6. So I think, like I said, it's in the favor of the defender. So it's not 2 to 1. It would be 1 to 1 because it gets rounded down. So this attack will be on the 1 to 1. It's going to be 50-50. I'm going to see what we get here, and you can watch it roll, I hope. And he rolls a 5, which is an attacker retreats. So, a quick look at the retreat rules. So you have to maintain stacking. I know that. You can have units that are just displaced if need be. Let's see. I'm just want to make doubly sure I'm not missing anything on retreat. Yeah, basically, I don't seem to see it. There's only, there's only like 8 pages of rules. Retreating as a result of combat. Here we go. Decide which direction. Yeah, you can't retreat into prohibited hexes. That makes sense. Can't cross the prohibited hex side. May enter a vacant hex, or it may stack with other friendly units. If a unit retreats into a friendly hex, which is subsequently attacked by artillery bombardment, the already retreated unit does not contribute. Okay, that makes sense. So basically we have to move away one hex, so when they're no longer in a zone of control. So you can't be within the an enemy hex or in a zone of control hex. So this guy is not he's not gonna do anything because he's bombarding, so that result will not apply to him. Get this out of the way. However, these units do have to retreat, so I'm just gonna, these two are just gonna come straight back to here, and this cavalry unit will retreat back to here. So that is unfortunate for the French that they retreated. If they could have had them retreat, that might have been better. I don't know. They probably would have retreated into the town hex anyway. All right, so the next battle, let's keep moving, is here. So again, here we have artillery and cavalry attacking. Now this is in a town, so he will be defending at 8, because remember it's double in a town, so he's defending at 8, and it looks like they're attacking at 6. So 6 divided by 8. I think that's going to be on the 1-2 columns. Probably wasn't a very smart move there, was it? Let's put that back for a second. We're here. The battle is here. And another quick look at the rules. And I'm looking at the artillery unit that's adjacent. And I kind of did that on purpose. I'm forcing myself to try these different sorts of things here. Look in here real quick. That wasn't a combined attack, was it? See, that was a combined attack. So hold your horses here, no pun intended. We rolled, it wouldn't have mattered. We rolled a 5, but that would have just, we were on the 1-to-1 column because we did round in the defender's favor, but that was combined arms, and the combined arms attack, the final odds column is increased by 1 to the right. So really we were on, where are we at? We were on the 2-to-1. So unfortunately we rolled a 5, so it's not going to change the result. I got to watch out for that. We were actually on the 2-to-1 column. So okay, but where was I at? I was looking at adjacent artillery. Just want to make sure there's nothing different for units that are adjacent. I don't think there is. I think you just add, add the odds are exactly the same as any other attack. All results are applied in the same fashion, except bombarding units are not affected by combat results. So again, very simple rules. And especially once you memorize them, it's even simpler. So attacking at 6, defending at 8 will put us on the 1-to-2 column. So let's see what we get. Not a good not a good choice there to attack, I don't think. We get a 3. Where did we go? Which is an attacker retreat. So the French retreat again. Run away, run away. So they're going to come back to here. Okay. And now we come up to here. See if I can do this without knocking everything off. Just show the battle is here. We have this Prussian unit defending at 8, because remember it's double in a town, but we're attacking. That is 9. That's 9 plus 8. That's 17. Is that right? So 17 divided by 8 is 2. So that's going to put them on us on the French on the 2 to 1 column, right? Did I do that right? One more check. Just to make sure. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 17. So 17 divided by 8, just above 2. Yeah, so that's going to put us on the 2 to 1 column for this attack. Let's see what we get. Ooh, wow. Horrible rolls for the French here. So they retreat again. So all these units have to retreat. They're just going to pull back then. So these guys retreat. These guys retreat. Wow. All right, moving right along. So that brings us to over here. And we have, I think I said this guy was, these were in the clear, right? They are in the clear. So that's just simply 7. And the attack is going to be at, what did I say? So they're at 7, so we were at 7. So that's 12. So 12 divided by 7. There's no combined arms here. We're back on this 1 to 1 column again. Let's see what we get. That is a 4, and that is going to be yet another retreat. Remember, the artillery does not have to retreat here, but these 2 units do, so they're going to pull back to here. Yikes. That is not good for the French. And then finally, we have a pretty sizable attack over here. And we'll leave this piece here. Now, I think these guys, I did say were in a town. They are. So that's 5. 5 plus... Sometimes the tweezers fight against me. Usually when you're playing with these slick half-inch counters. So that's their strength points 8. Doubled is 16. And in here, that is 10. Do we have combined arms? We don't. That is 20. Well, that's going to put us on the 1 to 1 column again. Let's see what we get. A 2. I think that's a little better for the French. So the Prussians have to retreat. And they have to go backwards. And I think I'm going to... Oops. I'm looking... I want to do what's best for the Prussians here. So if they're going to retreat, they can either come across... They can come across this stream to here, or they can go into this forest, which I think... was that infantry under there? It's infantry. So I don't think that that forest would be good for cavalry, but I think it would be good for infantry. Let's see. Infantry. So I don't think... there's no effect. So there's no... apparently there's no defensive bonuses or anything for those infantry units being in that forest attack. So I think these guys are just going to come back across this stream. All right, and now when a unit retreats like that, the attacker can advance, and so let's see what the advancing rules are. I think it's simply that one unit can move into that hex. One of the ones that participated, of course, in that battle. That is rule 7.5. Whenever a hex is vacated as a result of combat, one victorious unit adjacent to that hex, which participated in combat, may advance into the vacated hex. This advance is made regardless of zones of control. The option to advance must be exercised immediately. So, should the French choose now, they can advance one unit, I think it said. And I'm saying that shakily because I'm not so sure one unit wants to advance right there. I kind of put him in the... where did it go? Advancing. Oh, it's down here. One victorious unit. Yeah, so if just one victorious unit can advance into, it would be this town hex. Well, if I don't advance one unit into that town hex, I'm sure that the Prussians are just going to march right back across into it. So I think I'm going to advance this one brave infantry unit. That's going to do it for that. And you know what? I'm wondering if that advance rule applies to the defender. Like when we retreated as the attacker, unit is never forced to advance. I'm guessing that when, and of course they wouldn't do it, but not, at least not this last round. But when we retreated here, I'm assuming that means that a Prussian unit could advance. One unit could advance into one of those vacated hexes if he had wanted to. I think I'll have to go back and check the rules later. That's not going to happen here because the Prussians, believe me, they're not. They would. There's no reason to advance out of those fortified towns. They're not going to do that. So, yeah. So that is the that's going to do it for the French turn. And now I'm going to pull these handy dandy. It's a crowded board. That's why you have to use tweezers. It's, makes it a little easier to not knock the pieces around. A little easier. You're still going to knock these pieces around. Makes it just a little bit easier, though, to get these discs off. Of course, that one's easy enough to grab with your fingers. All right. And so these units along the edge here, if I remember correctly, the Catabra map was here. So that's kind of why they're on the edge of this map. I suppose if the units went that way, I'd grab the Catabra map and put it down, but that's not going to happen. So I don't think I have to worry about that. But yeah, that's kind of why they're on the edge here, and there's nothing over here. So that is going to do it for the opening French move. And in keeping with the standard rules of sequence of play, I believe now it goes to the Prussians. So we did the French movement phase, or the French combat phase, and then it goes to the Prussian turn. The Prussian now becomes the phasing player and does the same exact thing. Well, that's easy enough. So I still have our handy dandy yellow movement discs for the Prussians. And let's just start over here. So I don't think he's going to come out of that town. I think what he's going to do, is he in a town? He is not in a town. I think he's going to come, that would be 1, 2. His movement factor is 4, so he could go 1, 2. Hold on, wait a minute, I'm forgetting it. That's stream hex plus to enter this hex, so it'd be 1, 2, 3 to come here. And then one more to go into that town, so he could do that. So I think he's going to come down here. And those two infantry units are going to bravely stand right there. And they're in a zone of control here, so that's the advantage of advancing in zones of control. So he can't really go anywhere. He cannot move. He's going to have to stay right there. So he shall do so. And and I suddenly look at this from the Prussian point of view, and it feels a whole lot worse than it did when I was playing as the French. Yeah, so you got boy, that French player knew what he was doing when he when he formed this line this way. Basically at this point, I'm just going to be trying to hold on as long as possible where you are. There won't be any advancing here, at least not past this stream, I'm sure, or this town. So I think he can't move. He could move. So it'll be, he can move 4. It'd be 1, 2. I'm going to bring, well, this, what is under here? These are infantry. They could move 1, 2, 3. I think for now they're going to do that. They're going to move up to here. I just said there was going to be no advancing, but we're advancing here for defensive purposes. We're going to go into that town. So they're going to stop there. And this poor lonely little guy here, infantry. So he could go 1. I can't go there because that would lock him into that zone of control. Now that is an option. I could move more units this way to try to block. I keep knocking this map around. I'm going to have to get a. I got a solution for that, I think, but we'll see next time. In the meantime, it'll just keep shifting. The world will keep earthquaking around. So I could try to reinforce this, but I really don't like the looks of what's going on here. I think what I'll, well, cavalry under there. Now we repulsed this attack. I definitely want to beef up this position. So this unit could go 1, 2, 3, 4. So he could come all the way down there. Let's do that. We're going to bring this guy. He's going to come all the way down here. I'm not going to move either one of those units, even though the one underneath could move, but we're going to mark him as moved. He's staying put. This unit is going to go 1, 2, and they're going to stay put there. Now I could move him into the town, but I think he's going to go, that would be 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could move him to here or here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could bring this guy here, this guy down to here. Let's do that. I'm going to bring him here. So he was here. It would be 1, 2, 3. If you want to take the shortcut, and then here 1, 2. So I'm going to bring these two this way. this artillery, I am really tempted to bring it forward to here. Let's bring this artillery piece forward bravely or stupidly. You know what I'm saying? So artillery, and then I can bring this infantry. 1, 2, 3. So we can bring an infantry unit down. Actually, do I want to move that artillery there? It might make more sense because he can attack. He can hit any of these hexes. So what we might want to do is bring this infantry down to here. And we'll just bring this cavalry unit down with him. And that will mark these guys as moved. I still have this mess over here forming. And they're moving from, it's clear there, so they could go they could move right into there. But I'm going to be honest here, I really think, I feel like I'm being too aggressive with the Prussians. And if you've played this at all, feel free to leave comments at Armchair Dragoons or down below to let me know how terribly I am moving these these units around, and if I'm being too aggressive with the Prussians right now. Certainly find out next turn, if nothing else. I don't want to go out looking for a fight. I can put another unit in here. That's probably a smart thing to do. Let's bring this guy down to here. And I'm not going to move any more there. I'm tempted to move him one. It's only a strength 2. We still have this guy who's a strength 2. And this guy, this cavalry unit. And this is a trail, which I believe has the same movement factor as a road. No, actually, I think it's a 1, if memory serves. Yeah, roads are half, trails are 1. If entered from a hex that contains a trail, so he already is on a trail, so he could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. 5. I don't think I want him coming out here though. 1. I don't want him in this. I don't want him in that forest either. Let's just move him up to the town. We're going to move this guy up 1. And I'm just going to say 2. Need more. Still, I'm tempted to put somebody here. I think that's asking for trouble, though. What I might do... No, I want that artillery piece to stay right where it's at. We do have this horse artillery. We have 2 horse artillery. That's a really strong unit, too. That's regular artillery, but still, it can move 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's bring him down for sure. 1, Wait a minute. He's on a trail, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have infantry here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's not move him all the way up. Let's move him just to here. And that's going to move those. And now this is interesting. So we have here in a clear hex. Infantry, movement factor of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a battle here, but that gets them the town bonus of doubling their defense. Again, that's very aggressive. I'm putting these units out there for the French to pick away and start knocking off strength points. Let's do it. Let's be a little aggressive. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. That will put these 2 infantry units in this town. Strength of 5. And that is going to be the first red marker for the Prussians. They're going to attack there. And we have this other infantry unit, which can go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't quite make it, but this cavalry, there's 2 cavalry. Oh no, there's 1, 2, 3 cavalry units and a horse artillery unit. And they can travel along, looks like they're on roads and trails, so we could hightail it down to maybe here. So you stay there for a second. You can go, that would be a half, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. So this unit could come all the way down to here. And this guy could probably join him. 1, 2, 3. No, he couldn't. This guy probably could join him, though. He's on the trail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, he couldn't. So it looks like I was hoping to get another unit, or another 2 units would be nice here, but that's not going to happen. I could get 1 cavalry unit down here to help with this attack. And I'll tell you what, I don't think that's a bad idea. So this guy can move 6. So it would be, it's not a, oh, it is a road there. So it would be a half, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. So he's going to come galloping down here, and he's going to join in this attack. So there's going to be an attack there. And this infantry, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to bring him up here. If I can grab him. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these cavalry units are pretty much, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to bring this. This is artillery. 1, 2, 3. Let's bring this artillery down this way. And 1, 2. So you can come down here too. Let's bring this cavalry down to here with that artillery piece. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to bring him in. Actually, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to bring him down here. Okay. And then I'm not moving anybody else, so I'm not going to put yellow tokens on those Prussians. That's going to bring us just now to what's going on here. I'm definitely not going to... Why am I going to move them out of there? Or do I want to try to... See, I feel like I'm being too aggressive again with the Prussians. And the deal with the Prussians is they want to keep their casualties down long enough to hold the field. They don't want to get 55 reductions in their strength points. And that's why I probably need to be careful with being so aggressive. Clear and clear. So I really think what they are going to... I think that's not a bad idea. They could go 1, 2... I could just kind of leave them up here. And these guys seem to be holding their own down here, right? I think for now I'm going to bring... He's going to go 1, 2... And here it would be... I'm going to move him... Well, it would be 1, 2... I'm just going to bring this guy down to here. Need some more yellow discs. That's gonna be their movement. 1, 2. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. I could bring these guys into here. Let's do that. They're gonna come into this town. Probably need some supplies anyway. And then I think I kind of want to bring these guys down here. We're going to kind of reinforce what's going on here. I think that's what I want to do. So they're gonna come this way. There's artillery and there's more artillery. So I think we want to get some artillery down here if we can. So starting, we got infantry. We're going to march these guys. It would be 1, 2. Well, let's do that. Let's go 1, 2. And that's as far. Well, they could come 3, 4. But I want to leave him here until we can see what's going to transpire along this line. That way he can react and move where he needs to go. And this guy is on a trail. He can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to bring him down here to 1822. I'm going to bring this horse artillery with him, so that's going to be their move. And then this artillery, 1, 2, 3. So he can get 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's start bringing this artillery in. So he's going to come here. Another yellow marker, because he's going to stay there. And what do we have here? This infantry unit can move 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he can get there. I'm going to bring him way up there. He's going to come into here. And that's him. And now we have these cavalry units that are just hanging back here. So, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he can get all the way around there. He can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I want to bring him down here, try to reinforce what's going on, whatever's going on down there. Could also go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can get as far as here. And I may want to leave him on the road just so that he can react to whatever's going along this whole line. He can get to where he needs to be. Maybe I'll do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this 1619 hex is 5. 1519 hex is 6. I'll just one more time to make sure I'm doing it right. It is a half movement point on the road. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So actually he could get all the way to here. I don't think I want to do that though. I think I want these two to kind of hang near each other. So it would be, this guy could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, they can get really anywhere from 519. You know what I think I'm gonna do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 519 might be it. So I'm going to bring these two guys all the way over to 519. The logic being that I think if I keep them on that road, I'm not going to put a marker on that because that's the last one I'm going to move, I'm sure. But the logic being that if I put them on that road, they can still quickly move to either of these flanks if need be. So that said, that's going to be the Prussian movement phase. And now there is one battle to be fought. So I'm going to go ahead and move this movement marker since we don't need that anymore. And so let's get this attack. Well, let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do it without screwing up the board. I did, look at that. We'll leave it here to show there's an attack in progress. So I did knock this guy over though. And he was sitting back there. He was not part of this battle. So it's going to be the attacker. If the Prussians are attacking in the first turn, I still think that's I still think that's really aggressive for some reason for the Prussians, but whatever. So that's 5, and that would be 8 with the cavalry. There's no combined arms because that's infantry under there, and they're attacking this cavalry and this infantry unit. So that's 7. So defending at 7. What did I say? Without making a mess. Rats. All right, so that's 5, 8. So it's 1, 1. Sometimes I make it harder on myself with these tweezers because all right, it's 1 to 1. So they're attacking this stack 1 to 1. So let's see what they do. They're hoping for a low roll here, and they'd love to see the French get knocked back again. And they get a 4. So on that 1-1, that's an attack or retreat. That's not good if you're Prussian. So these two will come back to here. And this one will come back to, he can come back with this buddy here, I suppose. There. Prussians retreat. And then like I said, I think that the rules state, I think they were attacking. I think the defender, can the defender advance? Let's look one more time. I don't know why they couldn't. I don't know that they're going to right here if they could, even if they could. Advancing as a result of combat. It doesn't say anything about attackers or defenders. It just says when a hex is vacated as a result of combat, one victorious unit adjacent to that hex may advance into the vacated hex. And it must be exercised immediately. So I'm thinking that the French could advance here if they wanted to. But you know what? They're not going to do that yet. I'm going to say not yet. Not yet. The slid the map over again, I can see. The French are not going to advance. That's going to end the Prussian turn, and I think that ends the first turn, I believe. Let's take a look at the sequence of play. Game turn record interface. That sounds like something off of Star Trek. We're going into the game turn record interface. The turn marker should begin the game on the turn track. Yeah, what this is all talking about here. It is like Star Trek. Where did there? Here we go. If the campaign turn is being played, blah blah blah. Turn marker should be advanced one space to show. Okay, so basically, you're telling you to advance the turn marker in this interface. And maybe Captain Kirk will appear at some point during this interface. I don't know. What that means is, though, is that will end the turn, and then when we come back, we will, of course, be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Game time, anyway. I'm going to remove these clear battle tokens here. If I can, without making a mess, and without shaking the table too much. And these tweezers are just wide enough that if I grab these things, they should come right off. Hopefully without interfering below the units below. Let's see. And like I said, I don't know that I'm going to do this every turn. Let me know in the comments if what you think of marking these units as moved. It really does help me in that I can see, and helps me remember if I've moved a unit or not. And that may not sound like much, but when these units are close in and I've moved on and I come back to a line, it's really helpful to know that a unit has moved already, so don't grab them again. I'm a big fan of these clear discs to mark all kinds of things. So anyway, let me know in the comments below if that was annoying or helpful to you, the viewer. It's certainly helpful to me, and I'll probably keep doing it anyway, just to maintain my sanity. So here we are at the end of turn 1 of the Battle of Ligny. The French have moved up, and I think the French have a pretty strong line on the western side of this map, and they still have these strong guard units coming up, so that's going to be bad news for the Prussians. Now the Prussians did fend off 2 attacks down here, so they actually did pretty good. And I do have some, and this, like I said, I think I have a feeling that I'm playing too aggressively with the Prussians, but I do have these reinforcements coming down to try to stop the French from whatever it is they're trying to do. I don't know if that's going to be smart or not. We're going to find out. So there you go. Turn 1, Battle of Ligny. Napoleon's last battles. Please let me know what you think. This is the first time I've played this game. With this, I've actually played it in Tabletop Simulator once or twice, but it's the first time I played the actual board game. And let me know what you think. Let me know if you like what's going on. Feel free to make suggestions on what either the French and or the Prussians ought to be doing. That would be neat to read. Yeah, let me know. That would be cool. Maybe I will take your advice. Probably won't. But I may. I very well may. Like I said, I don't know. I feel that I'm being too aggressive with the Prussians. So let me know if that's true. And that is going to do it for the inaugural physical board game episode turn of Napoleon's Last Battles. So thank you again for watching. Stay tuned for turn 2 of Battle of Ligny, and also look for, I believe it's turn 3 of McPherson's Ridge. I should have fairly soon. Look for that and some other stuff coming up as well. Thanks for watching.